Welcome back to the NAL with our second best of 1 today. Cloud9 going up against SSG. And if the history of both these teams is anything to take into consideration in regards to how the stages has gone so far for both of them, this should be a pretty close one.
Yeah, it definitely should be because Cloud9, I mean, they're coming off of back-to-back 7-0s, right?
They are.
But the one caveat is the last time these two teams faced each other, SSG beat C9 7-4, and it looked very dominating. But that was obviously the SSG that got first in Stage 1. It's not the same case here.
Absolutely not. And for C9, it's also not the same C9 that we saw last stage specifically. They've had the roster change. They've had a little bit of an oopsie here and there. Then they come back with 2 back-to-back 7-0s, and they got the wind in their sails.
Hey, no more oopsies going forward. I mean, this roster as a whole has been doing tremendous things in terms of as of recently. When we talk about those 2 7-0s, but a lot of those things comes down to the 3 keys of success where it comes to Cloud9, and we can talk about those. One of those is definitely their confidence. That clearly goes to show coming in through one match, sure, you know, might have been Cruelty 7-0, but then to immediately follow that through then with another 7-0, that clearly goes to show everyone is coming in here mentally prepared. They needed that first win, then they brought it into that second one. The second key to success is the synchronization, because you aren't getting those 7-0s by a fluke, by a chance. You all have to be on the same page, on the same book, the same chapter, everyone understanding what Dream is calling, being able to make the right decisions, being able to play off one another. And then the third key to success has to be Giddy. Giddy has been performing exceptionally well. We talked about him in the later stage of the first stage. Now in second stage, he has been absolutely popping off throughout the majority of the games. I believe he is the 4th highest rated player. Silent is number 3, but I do want to give Giddy his respect because he is a rookie coming into the scene and deserves that limelight. And again, this is the Cloud9 that we've been wanting to see. Sure, Hat really hasn't been the difference maker in terms of that roster change as a whole, but it's not to say the rest of the team isn't excelling in the areas that they need to be, especially like we said, getting those 7-0s back-to-back. Now it's just a matter of going against a harder opponent today of SSG and seeing what they can replicate.
It's actually really interesting as well that we are talking about Giddy here specifically being the backbone, because last stage it was Kobe Lax.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I mean, that's, you know, Fox was talking about that early on this stage, is we needed to see Kobe Lax coming alive. But the fact is, Giddy's the one that's really picking up that and being able to get these kills, especially in that last round. I mean, Giddy, once again, just paying hugely in terms of his performance. 100% cost. Again, can't ask more anything from this guy to be doing anything less. 13-1, 194 EPS. And again, being the top 4 rated player, that's not something that you would look at this Cloud9 roster and even think any of those players would be in the top 10. Fact of the matter is they are here. They are ready to play. And again, it's more so what are they going to do against a team like SSG?
And it's been such a necessity because we talked about it from stage 1. The only real player that was getting kills was Kobe Lax. So now not only do we have Giddy doing well, we have Silent doing well. If they can just make sure they're doing the rest of the 2, you know, synchronization, then everything will look great.
What was the other one?
Hopefully we can figure out. Hopefully we can see Hat perform a little bit better, because Hat so far has been playing kind of splat. So
I agree.
Has not been great. Again, we'll have to see him progress throughout the stage.
That's that brain rot you got going on where you get the memory of a goldfish so you forget what Lax said 5 seconds ago.
What's the next team?
SSG?
Right.
Let's talk about SSG, because this is the roster that actually did manage to get top 1 on the NAL last stage, but where have they been ever since?
I mean, being number 1 has really produced new challenges for them. I think the biggest issue for SSG is confidence, overconfidence. Taking wildcard to the same map that they beat them on stage 1 and doing the exact same things to spread out. And in all of their matches, we've seen them develop bad habits against OXG, against Envy, constant bad habits. And against the bad teams, or the less talented teams, those bad habits won't really make or break a game. You're still going to beat Envy. You're still going to beat some of the teams like Cruelty. But when you get up against some of the good teams, that's where those bad habits start to get exploited. And we don't want to see bad habits being made. I don't want SSG's overconfidence to be the double-edged sword that pulls them down from such a strong stage 1. They just need to be able to continue it, because in stage 1 they had that discipline. But now, because they're the top dogs, that discipline's slowly been dwindling a little bit.
Yeah, and it's also like when we're looking at the schedule for the side of SSG, I mean, considering how it's been and what's coming up, it's looking a little dicey.
Oh, it's only good teams coming up. Past Cloud9, sorry, Dream. Once they can get past this game, their super week is just going to be the 3 of the top 4 teams. So obviously, if they don't have a consistent very solid win against Cloud9. If we still see bad habits, that puts SSG in a position where they're not going to look that confident going into those super games. And obviously, those good teams will be able to exploit those bad habits. So hopefully, we can see a consistent, clean victory today that gives everyone confidence on them going into their final week.
And hopefully we can also see a map veto that isn't a little too overconfident.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the map vetoes, I think, it comes down to what's going to be comfortable more so for SSG than really is going to be Cloud9. Because, again, their opponents versus what SSG has had to go through, definitely different. But to end here on Skyscraper, I actually don't mind this pick coming out of SSG, given they just played against Cruelty on. They looked very strong on it. And if you got to remember, Cloud9 played it last stage. Yes, their defenses look good. Their attacks were abysmal. That is where Envy managed to come back, winning 6 defensive rounds back-to-back. Granted, again, Skyscraper is a very defender-sided map, but with this SSG and with this Cloud9 matchup, for Cloud9 to be in a situation of being able to be on the defense already should set them up for success here in the early game, but the important thing is getting that synchronization that I'm talking about once they get to that attacking half, because you're going against a very aggressive team like SSG. They're going to fight you on all fronts no matter what side you're pushing from, so they're going to have to do their due diligence, whether they're bringing the shields, whether they're taking that map control away from SSG. It really is going to fall on that attacking half less than it is going to be on the defensive.
This doesn't feel like a confident map pick for Cloud9. It feels like, oh, we can get Skyscraper, we'll leave it up and see how they pick it. I mean, SSG played Cruelty on Skyscraper yesterday, but they played only one attacking round because they 7-1 Cruelty. So you don't have VOD footage of picking defense first to be able to counter SSG's attacks. So obviously you're just going to the map because you could get defense first and hoping that you're able to get a good amount of rounds leading up to it. And obviously Cloud9's the #1 attacking team currently in the stage, so hopefully they just have a little bit of confidence going into their side. But this just looks like that they didn't really do the preparation for it, almost as if, well, we got Skyscraper, we can get defense, let's just pick the safe option.
Yeah, for predictions wise then, when we're looking at both of you going for SSG, I mean, this is, yeah, okay, we get it, Lax. This is C9's game to win, but SSG's game to lose.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, SSG also needs points. They also need to rein it back in and show why they were the #1 team in the stage. And it goes back to what I was saying with the previous stage. A lot of those games went down to the wire where had they lost any of those, maybe we wouldn't be putting so much pressure on SSG to perform. But fact of the matter is here, this is a very good game for them to climb more points and get 3 points on the board.
Yeah, they need it because it's not going to get easier for SSG. After today, it's 3 of the best teams in the NAL. So obviously every point matters.
Yeah, I mean, after today, it's like literally putting the Super in Super Week for SSG specifically.
Super's on Shopify.
Thank you. Very wonderful, valuable information. I do appreciate that. Either way, SSG, this is genuinely their game to lose. It's a team that has had a slower start to this stage, whereas for C9, they are ramping things up and they have that momentum. And if what we've seen from Oxygen is anything to really take away, it's the fact that momentum really does carry into the next game, and it can be the difference maker in these games that are a little bit more closely matched or a bit more down to the wire. So whether or not C9 is going to be able to close this one out, or is SSG completely going to be able to get that comeback and 3 points on the board and qualify, hopefully, for the playoffs, we'll find out as we're going to be heading into our second best of 1 of today with our casters, Ollie and Lynx.
Thank you very much, Jenny and Ollie. Do we think Cloud9's third 7-0 in a row are coming out?
I've stopped trying to predict what's going to go on in this league, I think, Jeff.
Now you're finally starting to get the hang of it.
It's just one of those things. I'm just like, I don't know. I've watched a lot of Siege from a lot of different levels, and the NAL is just the gift that keeps on giving. I don't know. Are we going to see Cloud9 get another 7-0? Stranger things have happened, haven't they? Let's be honest at this point. But SSG, we didn't really get to see him yesterday. They played against a 4-man team.
Sorry. Took me a second for that one to click. I was like, what are you talking about? They had 5 players.
They had power issues yesterday.
Oh, there's 5 players on the roster.
Oh, yeah. Only 4 with power.
Five-man team, in theory. There's
on paper.
On paper. It is an unfortunate occurrence, obviously, yesterday. But as we move into today, hopefully no power issues for Cloud9. Don't want to make things too easy for SSG. But I doubt Cloud9 will have 2 7-0s in a row, as One thing to mention, obviously, those two 7-0s coming against Standby and Team Cruelty are only two teams without a single win, not even a single OT loss in the league so far. And Cloud9, as the desk mentioned, is the highest rated attacking team in the league at the moment. However, out of the last 12 rounds they played, they've won 12, and both were against Standby and Cruelty. So not to discredit those attacking stats, still impressive to always win 6 rounds in a row, but they are coming against the two worst teams in the league so far, so that stat might be a little one-sided, especially when you consider that right before that 7-0, Cloud9 faced a pretty dominant 7-1 loss against Shopify, which not to say that SSG is necessarily on the level of Shopify, because on any given day, you don't exactly know where the level of SSG is. However, they certainly have the capacity to be on and even above Shopify's level. So we'll see how they decide to employ that, or at least exhibit that, on their attacking side today. Skyscraper attack can always be difficult, and SSG has a way of making the hard things easy and the easy things hard.
They're giving themselves a good chance removing the Clash and the Azami. A Deimos and a Grim taken away from Cloud9 as well. Now, we could compare and contrast this game to the game that SSG played yesterday, but I just don't feel like it's going to give us a really true indication as to how they really want to play this map. Yes, they played lots of Grim yesterday. Yes, they played lots of Deimos, but I mean, they only played 3 rounds on the attack to start with, so the most you're going to get is 3 of each. So it's not necessarily fair to sort of drag in from that. And again, maybe a bit of an advantage from Spacestation in this, that they knew they were going to play Skyscraper yesterday and they wanted to just have a Skyscraper week. They haven't actually shown too much yesterday in that Cruelty game. So for Cloud9, it could be a little bit more difficult. At the moment, there's nothing going to be happening too quickly. It's a fairly slow start to this Skyscraper. We've still got players hanging around inside of Swords. Nice Candela sent through. That's going to allow a little bit of a push up here. Oh. Great bit of play.
Ooh, great bit of play, but Kobilax having a lot of momentum, unfortunately. Ash and bobbing and weaving will find that engagement, though Hat looking for the trade. Dream as well. Both defenders positioned aggressively to try to catch an attacker lacking. Yet off the back of that Candela and the Dokkaebi call, SSG might lose 2 to Kobilax, but they come out the better in the man count. Though Benja only 1 HP, might be a dead man walking, and a 2v2 might not be too far out of Cloud9's grasp.
Yeah, Benja does need to be careful. You can hear another Dokkaebi call ringing through there. Wouldn't take much fire from a Shumika launcher to see Benja sent to the cameras. Looks like we've got an SSG player below as well at the moment. Hat still kind of playing quite aggressively, to be honest, but there is still a whole minute to try and hold on, and as soon as you give up Drum, that's it. There is no going back. He will retreat into Geisha. As SSG are using this time quite wisely just to set themselves up. Another Candela there, just to ensure that if there is anyone there, they're blind, and we can send in another Rotero drone. Of course, brilliant for blowing things up. Also, just another good bit of utility. Nash really not wanting to take any chances here as Fultz hits a rotation, and he will look to push into Geisha from the big window.
SSG likely sense how tenuous this 3v2 is, and how quickly things could fall against them. Hat with a nice Zoto canister, staving off the Geisha push, turning his sights instead toward Drum, allowing Dream to rotate up the flank. Big trade by Ashen, looking to get 4 as Hat in the 1v2. Doesn't want to fall splat. The desk called him out for it. We'll see if he's able to land it. Just 2 seconds to go. Stave off this plant. Ashen not even going for the diffuser. They try to commit to the kill, stop halfway through karaoke, and just off time, Hat gives Cloud9 their first.
What a missed opportunity for SSG. They had over a minute. Yes, Benja's low, but everyone's one-shot in this game if you get hit in the head. And yet they're not able to convert that. Cloud9 did whatever they wanted. Hat was able to rotate from Drum, over the top of main stairs, into Geisha, for free. We saw Dream. He was able to push out of T-Room and walk along Mezzanine, again, towards Drum. He finds one and is immediately traded, but even still, shouldn't really be allowed to do that. Now, the drone counter isn't always to be relied upon.
It fools you.
So I don't bring it up all the time. But it's those sort of occasions where You need to have drones kicking around. You need to know where people are. You've got that man count advantage. Use that information and find that out. We still had Rotero drones, bear in mind. We had Fultz driving around on Flores. I just feel like that's a huge missed opportunity for SSG on a map as well that is defined by 1 or 2 attacking rounds.
I can help you with them if you let me.
It's always the tricky thing with Skyscraper. It's just like, this is gonna sound really stupid, bear with me. Whether you get an attacking round at 1 or 6, it doesn't really matter. But at least if you get one at 1, it's like, oh, they've got it. They might be doing it. And it's just because you just get it out of the way. It's just the security of knowing, okay, we're making good progress. Even at
instead of you on 6 going, we have to get this.
Exactly. It's just a difference in pressure, even if the result is the same. So SSG letting that one slip. It's not necessarily gonna it's not a game changer, but it'd be nice. It'd be security, knowing that you've at least got one out of the way on a primary side as well. SG will have another shot at it, but oh my goodness. They are letting these C9 roamers get a little too aggressive. Kobilax getting away with 2, and then Silent just peeking out Geisha, finds the Capitao on Rappel. SSG cannot be allowing gaps like that to exist in their lineup. ROU projector should, in theory, give Ashen the ability to cross over and contest main and drum. That's exactly where 3 C9 defenders currently are, waiting for SSG to push. Silent swings out, spots the Blackbeard pushing forward quickly. Newers takes control of main for the trade. With Vigil for Capitao at 1.5 minutes wasted, that's a damn good deal.
A brilliant use of Sense's ROU projector. It just totally invalidates the mirror window and forces Dream to retreat back. Dream lucky to still be alive in round number 2 right now. Very quickly, that first half and extension of Cloud9's defense has been dealt with. Dream will be good for 1 though. He does manage to pick Newers out. I can only imagine that was a vertical angle. Newers was framing up underneath for a little bit of action on the book. So for the ground that SSG have taken, yeah, they've done it well. They've done it in a nice flashy way with the ROU projector. It was very safe, but it's cost them greatly. 3 versus 4 going into this final 45 seconds. Good nade here, displays Kobe, but he might just push him right into a kill.
And it pushes out. Another nade sent out that'll force him entirely off the main stairs. Ashen wants to push in off the back, but these traps starting to cause a lot of problems for SSG. The F0 stays his hand. That gives Kobe the ability to retake the stairs, and yet one player just sneaks in, bolts around the corner, but they've not droned Dream. On for 3 with this TCSG. Ashen in the 1v2 won't find much. Both primary sites go the way of C9, who, despite being aggressive, are really not overplaying their hand.
I think you've always got to play Skyscraper with a little bit of aggression, and you're afforded that privilege because of the map and the way that it works. Cloud9, I don't think they're doing anything too outlandish right now. They're just holding good portions of the map early on. They've got solid setups and brilliant escape plans. Not an easy thing to do as well when you get the Azami band out away from you. You do have to be, you're forced into other methods. Of course, it gives you some other tools to play with. Dream in particular, his positioning so far has been fantastic in both rounds. Think about round number 1, he was able to slip out a T and rotate through mezzanine, gets himself a kill. It turned out to be round winning. It was traded straight away, but if he doesn't do that, then all of a sudden it becomes a much more pressurizing situation, and SSG have a greater advantage. They have 2 guns up against 2 guns that are looking at them whilst their 3rd player plants. Dream doesn't go for that in round 1. It probably doesn't go Cloud9's way. And again, they're in round 2, able to rotate off the mirror window very quickly and just get himself so tucked inside of Exhibition and play safe and, well, pick himself up another couple of kills. Brilliant start so far from Cloud9, and there's been opportunities that SSG have created for themselves. It hasn't really been through Cloud9's errors that those opportunities have presented.
No, I've been sure it's Skyscraper defense, but I mean we've seen plenty of good teams sometimes overcomplicate or mess up Skyscraper defense. There is something quite commendable and meritorious in just playing a good game, and that's what C9 are doing right now. Letting one player maybe do something quirky like Kobe in round 1 or Silent in round 2. By and large, just playing the setup, I've got nothing to complain about with C9 so far. Very good stuff. We'll see how Kitchen Barbecue goes. Usually the trickier site for the defense. Oftentimes we'll see a castle to make Geisha and maybe an extra room a bulwark for the defense. Hated by the bandit batteries could be nice. You could see Silent flirting with another peek outside of Geisha, just like last time. Has to be careful though. Jane, I know, is not lacking on Repel, watching a different angle. He'd have a direct line onto the bandit's position. Albenja creeps along the mezzanine for a pinch, put to 1 HP from the delivery position. Cloud9 doing a great job at just harrying SSG and constantly keeping the attack on their toes. Ashen might be doing the same thing though, because look who's found their way outside of sight.
Ashen's really slipped in there, hasn't he? Problem is you can't do anything with this site if you don't have that top floor control. And C9 have definitely still got that. A Dokkaebi call is going to tell everyone that there's someone on those main stairs, and that someone is Dream, but Ashen is able to kick things off with a kill onto Hat. It forces Dream's attention for the time being just to turn and look toward that first floor level. But Ashen's nowhere to be found. He's rotated. He's over toward Black Stairs. He's picking apart this defense from the site level.
And now Cloud9 in a really tricky spot. Oh my god, it's what? All right, I guess the round's over. I don't really know how that happened. Ashen gets the 3rd kill on site, finding a lot of really good timings, and I suppose the same thing happened up top. First round going the way of SSG, and after round 1, you could have really had a 2-1 for SSG at the moment. Not much really else to say for that round, Ollie, other than Ashen with some good timing.
Yeah, Ashen got some great timing. He found himself a lot of space. Cloud9, I mean, naturally you give up a lot of space on that Kitchen Barbecue side because you're forced into defending the top floor, and it's usually one player's job to sit and play site, and you're expecting players and defenders to be able to drop off at points during the round, whether that's rotating down through main stairs, sneaking down Black Stairs, kind of unlikely, or more likely dropping the hatch inside of Geisha and sort of assisting you and bolstering that on the site level. But SSG doing a really good job of recognizing, hey, this isn't a round where Cloud9 have extended. Cloud9 didn't extend over toward Drum, Shrine, Terrace, Dragon. There was nothing over toward House side. Instead, it was very concentrated, and it was just directly above Kitchen Barbecue. It was Geisha, T, Karaoke. It was very straightforward. So it gave a big opportunity there for SSG to take a lot of ground very quickly, and then work in off the back of that and set themselves up. Tactical timeout. We've seen a full site rotation. And I'm sure that Call Out, like us, and well, like SSG, they won't need telling this, know that there have been opportunities for SSG so far. And as you mentioned, Lynx, very easily, we could be sat here at a 2-1 scoreline for SSG right now.
It's also very much dependent on the way you view it. It could be a 2-1. Could also very easily be a 3-0 if Ashen just doesn't have a big 3K. One of those weird games where it's like very, very plausible could be one-sided either way. Maybe not one-sided either way, but very plausible could be read as one team leading or that same team not having a single round on the board. Sometimes you get those. But not exactly shocked that it's a game where SSG are involved, that we kind of have that very kind of strange kind of interpretation you could draw from the game. T Karaoke was the site that things really could have gotten started for SSG, as even though the roam clear goes a little bit south, they still come out of it with a 3v2. But Hat and Dream are able to hold pretty fast, especially Dream getting active on the flank, that Hat wins on time. Curious if we'll see SSG maybe dial back the aggression a little bit more, or dial back the clear on that office exhibition side, is with a Monty and Glaz in play. Usually this indicates a top black take.
You would expect that, wouldn't you? Especially with the positioning of these players right now. SSG might be looking for something a little bit speedier here. Dream might have a bit of a job on his hands straight away. Got a great deployable shield setup. Not really anything to deal with that. You'd need a nade from Newers if you're going to try and get rid of that, but Shumikas will do a great job. There's a Vulcan pack on the door as well. It's not going to be easy to try and move through here, but Dream gives himself up.
Ooh, Ashen too!
It was the Zoto.
As Shumika on the way out slows Ashen down, caused him to die to the fire. So Ashen, who in the past couple games we've seen actually quite good at taking down the Tachanka with a Glaz. He might fall, but his core primary purpose, it's achieved. That Vulcan pack doesn't even get detonated. Foltz might need to be a little careful. He's by himself, but Newer is just going down below. I think Hat spotted on a Z ping. So just shotguns him a few times through the floor. We've seen this Sledge shotgun have a bit of an uptick in pick rate with the introduction of the secondary automatic pistol. You can see Newer is very thankful for that. It's given the soft destruction and the ability to take down Hat from below. Nice frag by Silent as, again, Foltz finds himself alone on black stairs.
I mean, Foltz hasn't really been rallied around correctly right now. I understand that you've lost Ashen, but I think you need to bolster Foltz's position a little bit and give him something to work with. He's got a lot of space and a lot of ability to gather information. He's not really being allowed to do it. Yeah, we've got Newers working in from below, but the rest of SSG at this time are kind of sitting ducks. We have upside down repels, so we've at least got J9O safe. Foltz is going to try and get this plant down already.
I mean, might just be trying to bait. He's got plenty of time. 55 seconds, and nobody's in immediate position. Oh my god, what a shot by Silent. J9O peeks his head out a bit too much, and I think if Silent wanted to, he might be able to push a bit further up. Instead, it's Giddy who throws the C4 over top. Newer's doing the bulk of the work for SSG in this round. Foltz exposed behind the shield. What a frag by Giddy, who's really been putting in the work these past few days. It's a Giddy and Silent round as Cloud9 looking indomitable on Skyscraper.
I think the teamwork there between Foltz and Newers is borderline perfect. You can't ask for much more. But what are the rest of SSG doing? Okay, you've got a Monty at the top of Black Stairs. You can call out different locations. You can give Z-pings. Fair enough, some other players for SSG might be on the drone trying to assist that and really enable some of this vertical play to happen. But there's got to become a point where you just flood and take the fight to them and use that Monty as an advantage. Instead, it really just felt like SSG were kind of waiting to get whittled down. Could have been something towards the end, but nowhere as near close as round number one should have been.
Bomb located by attackers.
Ashen 8-2 so far, and to be fair, you know,
10 seconds to insert.
3 of those kills were critically important to winning Kitchen Barbecue, but by and large, there's only 2 kills that have, aside from those, that have actually been impactful for SSG winning a round.
Doctor, you know, you can
Just
always call me.
even when SSG are finding these good moments, even when they're finding important gunfights, Cloud9 still winning the long game in each one of these rounds, just playing a very consistent game at the moment. Not overplaying, not overthinking. I mean, you see Silent back on Vigil, and if it's just what we saw in round 2, I'm not going to blame him. Go for a couple early peaks, then back up and just play for the gun, trying to rat in a bit more of a coordinated way. That's okay with me. Ollie might be another quick one for SSG. We have Aurora. I know you and I like to talk about that. Where do you think these doors are going?
Probably on door frames.
Okay, thank you, Ollie. Appreciate it.
All window frames.
Ollie with useful weather update.
Yeah, weather alert, it's raining.
Thank you, Ollie.
So, the Aurora doors for this side are a little bit curious. Double? Maybe, I mean, he's got double done, but...
Do you probably then, do you run through, then put it on the single to, like, Office? Like, on the right?
Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing you can do, but you're expecting Office to Exhibition to be soft, so... I don't really know where the value is in that.
Yeah, it gives you that uptick in control, but like you said, it's also just going to allow the defense to hold the angles into Office to completion for completely as much as they want. You do have this glass, though, which I would imagine will look through those smokes to challenge those very angles. So this is what SSG are trying to bring to counter that, but that's either a pre-placed or a thrown C4 by Hat. It lands perfectly, though. The exact player they tried to counter, it falls. Cloud9 with 2 big kills, and though this plant goes down, if this smoke dissipates, Foltz is kind of a sitting duck behind the desk at the moment. He drops down the hatch instead, right into the waiting arms of one of his attacking teammates. That gives the defense full uncontested control of the top floor for the moment. It's going to have to be a retake to stop this retake from Cloud9. You cede the control, let the defense fill in, then fight for it in turn. Benja with a nice angle from below will open that skeleton key. A lot of shots hit, but there's just too many bodies for SSG to deal with. Cloud9 throw them all at the problem, and this defense half is won.
Such a good retake from Cloud9. again, one of those situations where you either know the plant's going down. I mean, it's fairly obvious. Like, there is a million smoke canisters that have just been placed in a really quirky Rora door that at least I'm seeing for the first time. I'm sure it's been done before, but it's not a common one, is it? And we haven't really seen a lot of Rora on Skyscraper this stage so far. No overreaction. Brilliant C4 kill as the plant goes down. SSG are trying to make it happen. I mean, of all the people to get, you get Nuas on the glass, which just eliminates any threat. And then the team play. Double jumping out onto the player outside of Sword's window. 3 people commit into this diffuser. They know where the player is going to be. Like, they're either outside or they're below. And you already know that there's a book, so there's a very good chance that that player is going to be below. And Benj has just got the impossible gunfight of, yeah, he can skeleton key through the floor and hit chip damage onto 3 of them, but it's never going to kill any of them. And he's got an engagement to worry about. Brilliant team play there from Cloud9. Nice plant attempt from SSG, and I think on its day, it will work. It just so happens that that day isn't today.
Yeah, not a bad strategy. It's just Cloud9 are still just playing the game they've been this entire half. They know what angles to watch. They're hitting their shots. Also, no crazy performances. It's very much a team game from C9 at the moment. Nothing to complain about. As SSG look to try and get a 4-2 half, which, to be fair, would be exactly what you need to have a very workable game of Skyscraper. They'll have to attack bedroom and bathroom on Skyscraper, which sometimes has seen kind of an uptick in play rate over the past year and a half or so, as teams are like, all right, yeah, is it bad? Yes, but will it catch people off guard? And is there a way to play it where, you kind of hold exterior angles, and if they drop down to the bottom floor, you retake?
Breach charge ready!
There is something here, at least. Oh, that's a nice shot on the breach charge. Silent doing his best to be as annoying as possible, and it's working very well.
Setting charge.
I know what you won't expect. The other side of the wall. Genius from Action. He's really got one over on him there.
Can you imagine? Hat peeks out and the other one gets shot. I would have burst out laughing.
A little bit of Maverick action onto this office wall. Ooh, don't be called good for 1 onto Silent as well. Good entry there for SSG.
Oh.
Ooh, Ashen, okay. He's having one of his nights.
Might be an SSG round. Just similar to that barbecue round. All of a sudden, SSG start winning every single fight presented to them, specifically Ashen opening things up. Giddy peeks down, catch Benja, nobody in a position to trade. Rest of these attackers on the top floor. And Kobe, Giddy both have C4 as Kobe swings out. Viewers giving the 1v1. SSG starting to get disconnected, giving opportunities for C9 to mount a comeback. Ashen's been hitting some bangers tonight. Does he have another triple in store to buy SSG around? Kobe with 3 Zotos to stall a push. A C4 on the floor of Ashen and below too. And the attacker does not have the diffuser. Sprinting through, spotted on the default. Kobilax playing patient will let Ashen slip down. So Giddy prone around the corner inside the site. Ashen trying his best to find some information, has spent a long time hunting. Spotted on the BP around the corner. Oh, flicks and trades! But a trade is all he'll get, and with 1 player left standing, it's a 5-1 half for C9.
Generational throw from SSG.
Yeah.
4 versus 2. The 2 defenders, by the way, didn't move their feet for 3 of those kills. We get Benja walking up house stairs, and Gitty's able to turn around, flick him, and kill him. Great, whatever. It happens. But then it takes like 15 or 20 seconds for, I think, Jane I know, to pull off a tortoise peak from Dragon, where he's moving so slowly into the only angle that Gitty could be holding that would be advantageous. Kobilax, he gets a great kill, really threads it through terrace onto maybe no, Nua's got the opening onto somebody else, And then all of a sudden, Ashen's like looking around thinking, guys, a minute ago we were in a 4 versus 2, and now it's just me.
So is Benja...
I was false.
I was about to say.
Yeah. So, I just... That's at least 2 rounds, maybe 3. 2 if you count in like air quote dead certs, rounds that tier 1 teams should not lose.
That's a good question, actually. So what rounds are you counting? Round 1, 2v1.
Yeah. Which was a 3v1.
Which was a 3v1, yes.
And then round 4, 4 versus 2. Oh, sorry, round 6, 4 versus 2.
Round 6, 4 versus 2. So it should be a 3-3, but you said maybe 3 rounds they should have won. What's your third?
Locate and defuse a bomb.
I was just throwing another one in for good measure. Because I feel like if they win those 2, there's more confidence and they'll probably win a third off the back of it. It's the momentum round. We throw one in as just a little bit of extra float, you know?
Oh! Viewers and silent exchange greetings outside of Geisha window. By the way, if you haven't taken a look at the attacker lineup yet, I would just draw your attention to the bottom left. So we have a Blackbeard, a Blitz, and a Glaz. Looking like it's got to be one of those rounds. Though I will say, you have a Thatcher, no hard breach. That's just a 2025 Rainbow Six moment right there. And what is that Thatcher going to be used for? I don't really know.
Frag grenade.
What? Okay, well... Alright, well, I guess everyone's dead. Whatever happened didn't work.
It also happened very quickly. Ooh, okay. Nice little pre-place from Benja there. I'm not sure if it pre-placed or just placed at the right moment. Cloud9 really looking to try and just take control of Black Stairs. I mean, the lineup kind of told us that much anyway. Obviously, you got the Blitz and the Glaz. It's a slightly similar, slightly different way to the way that SSG approached it with the Monty. Very explosive round. A lot of C4s. I'm kind of surprised that we just saw it all sort of capitulate that quickly. Cloud9 have showed us a lot of patience on the attack so far. On the defense. Yeah, they've been aggressive in the early portion of the round, but they've shown us good strength and good depth. Maybe they're just trying to get a quick one past SSG. Don't forget, they've got quite the buffer right now. And if maybe they've got their sights set on a different site, one that isn't maybe as primary as T and Karaoke, maybe they're just wanting to get through those things. But, I mean, the Thatcher's going to be brought for just disabling anything. It could be... SSG like to play a lot of Mute. Mute's actually been banned in this one by Cloud9. That's how much Fultz likes to play it. So he's actually forced over onto the opposing SSG operator. But also Cloud9 haven't been able to remove any of the denial, any of that hard breach denial. And the Thatcher, it's an old school method of doing it, isn't it? But I think with the increasing number of electronics and that increased radius, it can just be something that's nice to have for teams that maybe aren't wanting to gather as much information before they go for that execute, which I think it's probably fair to say that Cloud9 didn't gather the most amount of information ahead of round 7 before just piling on in.
I would say that's probably fair. Seemed like something went awry, that's to be sure, even if it was just happenstance. Did Giddy run out of time on that Rotero? It looked like he had 2 seconds left. Is there something he destroyed? No, I don't think there's anything destroyed on the floor. I don't know. I thought he had more time, but...
I just went a bit short, didn't he?
What do you mean?
As in he went short, or it didn't look like he went long enough to get the barbed.
Loading new mag.
I think we're saying the same thing, but it confused me for some reason. I was like, wait, what? He didn't? I'm sorry.
He got the barb on house stairs at least. We can confirm that one.
Well, that's good. That's what matters. If anyone wants to walk up house stairs later on, you'll be quite happy to do so. SSG not running a mirror like we saw Cloud9 do for this extension. The mirror, black mirror on the right wall, peek around, fight on the left. It's full reinforced, banded Behind it. Benja also with Kiva just to make that even more difficult. SG with a pocket reinforcement too if they want to shut off the mini wall. They want to get aggressive, maybe give every angle at your disposal. Ashen 11-4 so far. It's the opening pick in round 8. A lot of smokes being used to stall the walk-up outside of Mini. That's Dream on the Blackbeard right there. Goes on the drone. Bolt swings around, but that's clearly an intentional bait by C9. Giddy able to trade as Cloud9 aiming to find a way into sight. Giddy just hopping into Sword's window. Finding Benja and Ashen. Might fall to 1 HP. Yeah, just with a few well-placed shots, he's given Cloud9 a beautiful opening. Blackbeard slams Foltz in the face, knocks him to the floor. Hell of a day and a week for Giddy. 9-6, still with more in the tank. Newer's looking to try and find this 1v3, but the mini player peeks up, slaps him down. Match point for Cloud9.
Cloud9 play a really nice brand of Siege when things go well. There is zero overcomplicating. That is as straightforward a push as it gets, but it is executed to such a high level. It's beautiful. We've got pressure in on Sword's window. Gitty, star of the show, by the way, able to hop in, use the space that's presented to him. It's not always somewhere that you're going to expect. You're expecting someone to play on Sword's window. You're not always expecting someone to hop into it and to be that bold. Blackbeard and Foltz, the dance behind the minibar, it's a tale as old as time. You're always going to get somebody playing in behind that minibar on the defense, and you're very often going to get pushed with a shield if you are that defender. Brilliant little exchange there, and I like the way that Cloud9 baited all that utility nice and early out of Foltz, because then the pinch can really start to come together. You've got Gitty coming in through Sword, you've got a bit of the breach open, and then you're starting to push Foltz out from the minibar area. No sort of long extension or big roam clear over toward T and Karaoke side. Just a very concise and really well-focused take of the site and really what mattered. Cloud9, we were kind of joking going into this that, yep, they've got the best defensive, best attacking win rate inside of North America at the moment, but throw it into the context. 6 of those rounds or something were against Cruelty. Another ton of those rounds on the attack were against LFO. So how good is it really? I mean, tonight they've shown that, yep, they could still attack. They're attacking Skyscraper and they're doing a good job of it.
Yeah, for Skyscraper, a lot of the time, like, the bar is not, as with the defensive half, the bar is often not high. It's just like, hey, play a good game. And Cloud9 have played a good game. And with that attacking round as well, they're certainly, I think, above that minimum, just to be clear. Cloud9 are doing more than just the basics. I'm really quite pleased with a team that I think has been one of the most variable inside of the NAL since they formed back in Stage 1. Obviously, still would love to see this trend continue, but with a win over SSG, sure, it's best of 1, but they will have an even record, 10 points, and with wildcards lost yesterday and Dark Zero struggling, Cloud9 will still be in firm contention for that 5th, 6th place spot in the playoffs, which for a team with this many players that have the experience they do, it's exactly where you want to be. Foltz looking to try and stay alive on Black Stairs with the aid of Ashen's Kiba barriers. It's Kobe with the first pick, though, and that support will be quiet as Ashen walking outside gets clotheslined by the AK-47. Oh, that good night.
I mean, that's the second time we've seen someone from SSG just get dumped on by a Blackbeard, and there's no one immediately there. Yeah, Benj is here now. Reloading. Where was that 5 seconds ago? I'm not saying Foltz has been sold there, but it's definitely a soft kill to give away. That and the fact that you've lost the opening pick again. Cloud9, they just need to go through the motions right now. They've got a whole minute to try and pull this off.
Ooh. Dream backing up just in time. I like what you said, though. Just go through the motions. Like, this 5v2, this is just a don't throw situation at this point. We got no C4s. That Specchio is really not going to do much. Good trade by Giddy. That's it. 7-2 for C9. Continuing with a winning record on the attack. They are 14 out of 15 rounds the attacking side won so far in their past 3 games. If that trend continues, teams are going to start having a problem.
Big result there for Cloud9 tonight. I'm so thrilled watching these guys play because it's so clear that they are putting in the work. Gitty, what a week that player has had. You could go down the list, top through bottom. It has been a full team performance, and the synergy is definitely working on this C9 roster. once again, we will hear from them as we will have an interview with them lined up just on the other side of this break.
I'm walking to T, Kitty. I'm walking to T.
Hey, they got jumped out. They're both lower. They're both lower.
We're playing in. We're playing in.
Kitchen. He's gonna go tables on me. Kitchen. Going for
One.
Yes! We're so fucking good! We're so fucking sick! Just stop typing to me and screams! Count the score now! Count the
All right. I mean, that's a reaction and a half to winning this 7-2 against SSG. We've seen a 7-0, another 7-0, now a 7-2. Let's bring Dream over here to kind of dissect this because what is what is going on? Like, and I mean this in like the most positive way ever because you guys have just completely flipped the script. It's not a fluke. You guys are consistently coming out with these incredibly dominant games. What's the behind the scenes looking like at this point?
I mean, honestly, I think this whole stage, like, we've been playing, like, decent as a team. I think that DZ game was ours, and we just let it slip because it was our first game, new IGL, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we got, like, some stability underneath us, we got that confidence. Like, I'm confident in my calls. The team's confident in, like, what we're doing and, like, how we're trying to do things. And, I mean, we just have some players that are playing fantastic, and we're winning the rounds we need to win.
Right, I'm glad you brought it up because I feel like confidence in the mental game was a really big factor for your guys' start of the stage into now. Walk us through how the mentality shifted after you guys pretty much getting 14-0 leading in today affected the outcome of today.
I mean, obviously, like, it's hard to 7-0 a team, right? Like, I know, yes, is Cruelty and LFO, like, they're not looking the best. But, I mean,
still tough.
Cruelty even got rounds on SSG when they were in a 4v5. You know what I mean? Like, it is hard to 7-0 a team. So the fact we did that twice, like, people got to put some respect on the name.
Listen, if you should go back and rewatch the broadcast, all the things that I was talking about, you guys, because I think I made it clear to put some respect on that name in terms of those 7-0s that you guys had. What?
Why are you lying?
Anyways, going into the SSG game, I mean, were you kind of surprised that it did end up on Skyscraper? Do you think they had a little bit of false confidence going into that matchup, given one, your last stage performance on it, losing, your attack rounds, and then also that Cruelty game where realistically they did play a 4v5?
I mean, yeah, props to our coach, coaches Vivid and Mossy. I think they knew we were going Sky. They literally called it. And they said they're going to ego chalice because of that JJ loss. And Vivid's notoriously like the Sky maniac. Like he always wins Sky and every team he's on. So I was personally, I was shocked, but Vivid knew the whole time. So
absolutely. Well, coaching staff is working out as well.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's like a team effort, both from you guys and also the ones behind the scenes. So I guess as well with Super Week coming up, where you have 3 best of ones back to back to back to back, what's the prep for that going to look like? Because of course playoffs is going to be on the line.
I mean, personally for our team, we just take it game by game, round by round. Like I'm trying not to look playoffs or like too into the future. Like let's just play our next game and let's play the game after that, and see where we land at the end. Like that's all I care about is just trying to be the best Cloud9 we can be every day in the server.
All right, so far that's absolutely paying off, and we can see the confidence, we can see the improvement. Very proud of you guys. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the Super Week next week specifically, and take care of yourselves until then. Bye.
Yeah, you too, guys. Bye.
All right, changed team, changed man, changed roster. I don't know, but this is also, for me, really worrying when it comes to SSG. Like, as much as we're singing the praises right now of Cloud9, what is going on over in the SSG camp?
I think kind of the groundwork that we've been setting, where it's a matter of overconfidence. I mean, just like Dream said, they were going to ego chow us. They were going to take us to a map that they thought that they could just, it doesn't really matter what we do. They're bad at Skyscraper. Let's just go to Skyscraper. And I think it showed exactly why. You need to put a little bit more preparation into the work of going into that map ban phase, which is something Cloud9 has been so good. We've always talked about it. Their preparation before matches is amazing. They just needed to make sure that they had that confidence and did it inside the server. And now they do, because because they did have that 14-0. Now they got a win against SSG. They have that confidence to put it all together.
I think it's also putting respect on the team that you're versing again. You know, not giving them the exact respect that they need just based off of performance last stage, not being able to find their footing. I think a lot of the top teams are coming to realize that, you know, NA is far more competitive. Sure, there are some teams still at the bottom, but these teams that are improving, like Envy, like Cloud9, it really is showing that everyone can be extremely competitive. You can't count anyone out. And you were speaking into the SSG kind of overconfidence. I think that speaks clearly into this matchup, regardless whether it was the map pick, regardless of the rounds that they were playing back-to-back. Cloud9 did a very good job at dissecting, especially even on those attacks or defensives, being able to play off one another and just collapse onto these rounds. And Giddy today, another solid performance out of him. He had a big 3K on that house round. I mean, this kid, it's phenomenal to watch.
You know, coming into this game, you said there were 3 specific points: confidence, Giddy, and synchronization.
Okay.
There we go. See, I remember. It's been a whole hour. Do you think that they have hit every single one of those marks?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're going to win a 7-2 on Skyscraper, and I said, you know, what's really going to be important is winning those attacks, and they made those look flawless. It was very well executed, very well calculated. They were all in sync with one another. The confidence was there, so I definitely think Giddy was there. So all 3 were definitely
Really,
hit on top of the head.
The synchronization, I mean, I agree. Their defenses, you could really see them when they would pause and then try to figure out what the win condition is to be able to respond to what SSG is doing. I mean, the only thing that I would say is at the end, we heard the comms get a little hectic.
I think
the comms were a little crazy.
Definitely got crazy.
But with a little bit more time, you know, Cloud9 will...
But also they were celebrating the fact that they
well,
are
no,
winning.
getting to that last, getting to the end
okay.
of that round was chaotic, to say the least. I mean, they still got it to the end round and got the finish, but definitely was very chaotic.
But either way, that's us done and dusted with our second best of 1 of today. And we still have at least 3 more, but the next one is going to be OXG against SR. SR has just gotten their first loss in these best of 1s here in the NAL, and OXG got the wind in their sails with back-to-back wins. So we'll see who's going to be able to close the next one out, but that's going to be coming up after the break.